Hi, it's me again, Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be showing you round a Elddis Signature 185 2020 model, which is exclusive to Tyne Valley Motorhomes. Once you arrive at site, the main thing you want to do is hook the vehicle up. So behind this locker is your battery box, which opens with the tri-marked flat key. And in here you've got your hookup. So if you grab your hookup lead, which is normally 25 metres, lift the collar, slide it onto the hookup point on the van. Always hook the van up first, then the point, as we don't want you walking around with a live lead should it be wet or should the lead be damaged in any way. And then if you slide it into the groove here, it will allow you to shut the locker and seal it from the elements. But underneath the hookup lead you do have a 3-pin mains plug socket, so should you want any power outside the vehicle, you could run an extension underneath the vehicle to the opposite side for the awning, or power anything outside. And you do have your 12-volt leisure battery. Next to it you've got your fresh water intake. So this is how you would fill your fresh water up. So you get a hose pipe and you put a hose pipe in between these two clips here, and then fill it until it overflows, or fill it until you're happy you've got enough water on board. You can see your levels on board by your indicator on the main control panel, which I'll go through in a second. But if you are wild camping, you will have to take a full tank of water with you. If you are going to a site, tend to travel with a maximum of 20 litres, as this gives you the option to stop and use the toilet, have a cup of tea or make some food, and you'll have water on board. This is lockable with a small key here to stop people tampering with your water, to stop the flap from sliding up, and then just simply slides up. Underneath you've got your grey tap and your blue tap. So your grey tap is your waste water, so this is all the water you have used. Not your toilet water, so it's your showering water, your dishes water and your hand-based water. So normally you drive over a grid on the way out of a site. On some smaller sites it could be just a gully in the ground, or it's close to a verge, and you just open it up and it'll drain the water out. And then your blue, so you fill your fresh up. This is your fresh outlet tap. So you just turn that and you drain your fresh water off. So if you've been to site and you're ready to go home now and you don't want to carry any water on board, you can drain both off. You definitely drain your waste off, but you might want to travel with a little bit of water to stop and use the toilet, like I've said. In the winter you'll want to drain these off completely and leave no water in the holding tanks underneath, as they're just plastic, and if it does freeze it can split the tank. Coming further back, you've got your toilet. This is where you do the biz, this is where the business ends up. So this is your cassette, which is right back there, so that you've got a good amount of storage here. So should you need a little bit of storage for extra chemicals or loo rolls, you can put them out here. But if you just lift the handle, you'll be able to slide the toilet cassette box all the way out. You'll only get the cassette out if the slide is closed inside, which I'll go through in a second. And then if you lift the handle, you've got some wheels, so you can drag it along the site instead of carrying it when it's full. And then to empty, if you take your cap off, so your grey cap, you've got your waste disposal point, which is normally beside or behind the toilet block. You press the button here, this allows a bit of air in, stops it glugging and gives it a consistent flow. Tip it out. Once you have tipped it out, there's normally a tap there. Put some more water in, give it a slosh around and tip it out again. And then you can then put a cap full of liquid. So fill this with liquid and put a full cap in if you are using the liquid. Or if you are using the tablet form, put a pint of fresh water back in, push it into the vehicle. And the tablets are just like dishwasher tablets in a cellophane. And then you just drop one straight down the toilet into the cassette, and that'll break up into a liquid. At the back here you have your exterior shower. So if you just pop this off, it's like a hose pipe connection, so you put your hose pipe connection there, and on the other end of the gun you'll have a trigger gun. So this is great for the bikes, the boots, the dogs, the kids. It is just a cold water feed, so if you've been on the beach or anything and you want to wash the sand off yourselves or the dog, that is a great feature. You must have the pump on to use your shower, which I'll go through in a moment. At the top of the van you've got your high level brake light and your rear new camera and reverse camera, and then you do have these bars here, which are for if you ever wanted a bike rack fitted. These are where the body has been strengthened in the back panel. And then coming around the passenger side, so you've got your gas locker, which opens with the tri-mark key as well. So gas locker, LPG, liquid petroleum gas, and in here you can fit two 6 kilogram gas bottles in, and then you will tie them in. So tie the bottles in once you have put the bottles on board, and then to tighten the pigtail to the bottle, it's a left hand thread, and then hand tighten, and then turn on at the top of the bottle. Only turn on at the top of the bottle one full turn, as if you ever had a problem with the gas in an emergency, it's far quicker to come in and just do one turn off than do several. You've also got your police trackable vehicle scheme VIN chip number there. So that's your chassis number, so you'll find this in your gas lockers on your Elddis signatures. We can also find your chassis numbers underneath the bonnet and on the windscreen. And then next to your gas locker you've got your external gas point. So this is for giving gas to a gas barbecue or a Kadak. It will operate on the bottle attached in the gas locker. So there is a spigot here which is cable tied on. Cut that off, go and get yourself some gas, which is normally orange piping for the gas. Clip it onto here, and then put a Jubilee clip on around the pipe to hold the spigot on, and then do a Jubilee clip and clip it onto your Kadak or external barbecue, and then you'll be able to turn the tap on and it will run off the gas on board. To operate your Dometic awning, get your winding handle, pop it into the front, which is into your winder, and wind the awning out until you can reach inside of the canopy, so to about there. And then you've got two legs on either side, so if you just push the feet in, slide the leg down and turn it when it's in. And then if you lift this up, you'll have a tab here, which is this stops your telescopic leg, so you can push it to the height you want it at, and then push this down, and this will hold the telescopic leg into the position you want it into. Do it at the same side. It's always best to get as soon as you can reach inside the awning, get the legs down as this holds the weight, and then you can peg your feet down with the pegs provided. But if it should get windy, or should you go out for the day or go to sleep, always put the awning back in, as you don't want the wind to pick up, as if the wind picks up, this is just a canopy, this will just blow. This will just get the wind underneath it and could damage your vehicle or other people's vehicles, so don't have them out if it's windy. If you are going for a privacy room, it'll clip on there, but if you are going for the new thing, which is now an air awning to give you an extra space in the vehicle, this is your C-rail, so you get a driveway kit which slides along here, and then you can connect your air awning to that. There is also in the box inside the vehicle a rafter bar, so your rafter bar clips on there, and it'll clip on inside of the awning as well. So this just gives a bit more support. And then to put your legs away, if you just lift your tabs up to loosen the telescopic leg, and then as you are turning the leg, turn it so the feet plate is flat. So from that, turn it 90 degrees and allow it so the feet is flat on the canopy front. So, and then you turn it and push in until it's behind this tab here, and that is your leg secured, and then you would wind it back in. So at your passenger door you have your diesel, so behind this filler is your diesel. So to open your diesel, use the main ignition key, put the key in, turn, and then you will be able to fill with diesel. And below you have your AdBlue, which is an additive for your exhaust system. It's a 20 litre tank, and you can get it at most petrol stations now, as it's a common thing on most Euro 6D engines. It will indicate when it needs it on the dash. It tends to be between 4,000 to 5,000 miles, so you might not have to top it up this year, but you might next, just depending on the mileage you do. And you just lift it off and fill it, or you can buy it in the drums and fill it yourself, and they come in 10-litre drums or 5 litres. It might be worth carrying one on board should you be going a longer distance abroad onto the in the continent, as if this comes on you can just top it up. If you didn't top it up, the vehicle would go into limp mode to protect the engine and reduce the power. This is solely to protect the engine so there's no damage caused until it was topped up, or in the worst scenarios the engine won't start if it's completely drained of AdBlue. In your passenger door you have your tyre pressures on the slam panel, so 5 bar on the front and 5.5 bar on the back, which is equivalent to 72.3 on the front and 79.5 on the rear. Underneath your passenger seat you do have your toolkit, so this is everything to change a wheel. You've got a jack and a brace, a torn eye and a screwdriver in there, so your spare wheel is underslung underneath the rear of the vehicle. So this will just lift off, loosened off, and this will slide out to access all your tools. Then underneath the floor is access to your engine battery, so should you ever have to change the engine battery in the future, you'd have to lift this off and lift the battery out in the cab, as it's Peugeot part of Fiat Group. And to open the bonnet, it's on the side of the passenger dashboard. And then if you lift your bonnet, you've got your weight plate there, so forget the other weight plate. This is your secondary conversion weight plate from when it was a chassis cab to when Erwin, which is part of it, which owns Elddis, turned it into a motorhome. So it's 3.5 ton gross vehicle weight. If you were to put a tow bar on, you can tow an extra 2 ton, so your train weight mustn't exceed 5.5, so this is your van and whatever you're towing. Front and back axle weight, and your SGE number is your build number of the vehicle. This side, so your Azure blue, that's your paint code there, which is a Fiat Citroen Peugeot colour. And then if you lift these covers off, you've got your brake fluid, your radiator fluid, your power steering fluids underneath here, so you'd need to lift the cover off to fill your power steering fluid. But the main one you're going to need is your screen wash when you're out and about on the road. You've got your oil filler here and dipstick for checking your levels. Your earth for your earth lead, so jump leads or charger, and your positive would go in here. So if you put your key or your screwdriver into this little catch here, lift the cover, and your positive would clip on there to give or receive a jump start or to put a charger on in the winter. Good. So once on board, you've got your main control panel and your heating control panel. So I'll go through your main 12-volt control panel first. So you've got your on-off master switch here. So this will either give 12 volt if you are just off your leisure battery, but should you be hooked up, you'll get 240 volt. Next to it, you've got your pump. So you must have your pump on to surface your kitchen tap, your shower, your toilet, your external shower, and your hand basin in the washroom. Otherwise you'll just get whatever's left in the pipe and then until it stops. So put that on and it'll pressurize. But should you have no water on board, don't put your pump on. Below you've got all your lights. So this is the master switch for your interior lights, and then they are all individually switched around the vehicle. And then you've got your light on the side of a building, which is your awning light, which is just above your door. So should you be sitting underneath the awning, you can put your awning light on, or should you go and leave the vehicle on an evening, you can put your awning light on to find the way back to your vehicle. And then you've got two buttons here. So you've got one that looks like a battery. This is giving you your reading of your leisure battery. Then you've got one of a water, which is giving you your reading of your fresh water. So there we've probably got about 15 litres of water on board, as this is a demonstrator vehicle. Underneath you've got your wheel heating control panel. So operate this You've got your hot water at the top and your heating at the bottom. So to change your energy source, if you just press here, so you've got 1 kilowatt heating your water. So should you be on a smaller site or abroad, they may ask you to use less power. You've got 2 kilowatts. So if you've paid your site fees, heat your water on 2 kilowatts in the UK. You've got gas on its own. So if you weren't hooked up, say you were at the services or you were wild camping and you wanted to heat the van or the water, you'd have to heat it off gas alone because you do not have a 240 hookup supply near you. And then you've got gas in 1 kilowatt of electric and gas in 2 kilowatts of electric. Gas in 2 kilowatts of electric, you'd probably use this more than gas in 1 kilowatts of electric. In the winter time, or if you did want to prioritise one or the other, you could heat your water far quicker. So say you are desperate for a shower, you can put your gas and your electric on together at 2 kilowatts and it would heat the water in about 15 to 20 minutes to give you enough time for a shower. And you can do the same with the heating, which I'll show you in a minute. And then to do your heating, so you've got 1 kilowatt of electric, 2 kilowatts of electric, 3 kilowatts of electric, gas on its own if you were wild camping and you weren't near a 240 hookup supply, and then gas and 2 kilowatts of electric together. So you're putting two sources together, so you should boost your heating time of either the van or the van temperature or the water, sorry, and you will be able to get either your water hot quicker or the van to temperature. So you'd normally use them in the winter, should you want to heat the van up quicker or the water, you can put them on for a shower or to do your dishes. And then you've got your plus and your minus is your temperature. So on full blast is about 30 degrees and then in the middle's about 15. So you can just select your temperature. If you ever got a red exclamation mark next to the panel, so say the hot water's failed, you press the hot water and you press the plus button, or should you say the heating's failed, you press the heating and you press the plus button until the exclamation mark disappears. Then that's reset the control panel, and if it comes on again, then you would have a fault. Either your gas has run out or your electric's tripped, or you need someone to look at your heating. To lock your habitation door, so if you just lift the handle up, that is then locked for an evening, or if you did want to lock the vehicle, you can lock it from the outside, and then you would lock the cab from on the dashboard, which I'll show you in a second. And then as soon as you go down, you can open and you do have your fly screen. Next to your habitation door on your 185, this is where you keep your fold-away table. So it's behind your turnbuckle, so if you turn your turnbuckle, you'll be able to lift your table out, and it's just exactly like an ironing board. So you just pull the legs until the legs open, and then you push the catch from on the legs to fold the legs back down and place it in here when storing. In your kitchen area of your 185, you've got a 240 mains electric microwave where the plug is in here. So should you ever need to remove it because it's either faulty or you just want to isolate it, the plug is in there. And then you do have a 3-pin socket in the cupboard, as well as your racks for your cups and plates, and you do have your solar panel charger, which is charging one battery, which is the leisure. There is an extra terminal, so should you ever want to run it to a second leisure battery or the engine, you can do so. And then if you press the button here, you've got 1 and you've got 5. So this is just changing the energy source, so the power going to the battery. So at the minute you've got 100% going to your leisure battery, but should you have another battery wired in, you can change it to either 70-30, or you can change it to power one battery and not the other. So if you've had the engine battery wired in, you can change it so it just gives charge to the engine battery and doesn't charge the leisure, i.e. in the winter. But that's something you'd have to do, get it wired up. You've got your fridge down here and your cooker. So your cooker, you have 3 gas rings, like so. and then one electric hot plate. There is no light on here, so just do be careful that you haven't knocked this when you've walked past if you are on mains electric, because if you hook up and this is on, this will get hot and could smash your lid. So when you have used the hob, allow it to cool before you put the glass lid down. And then below you do have your grill, and you've got your oven. Got your oven there. Remove your grill pan and oven shelves when travelling, or wrap them up, as these can be what's the cause of a rattle. And below you have storage. You've got your plug for your hot plate, so should that ever be faulty or giving you any problems, you can turn it off, or you can pull the plug out to isolate. And you do have your gas taps here, so should you have any problems with gas, isolate it at the top of the bottle. But if you are away while camping and you don't want to ruin your holiday, you can isolate each appliance. So you've got your water heater and boiler, you've got your fridge, and you have got your oven and hob, and you isolate like so. But just leave them in that position. There should be no reason why you would need to isolate them unless you have a problem. These are mainly for when a hab technician does your habitation service, and he will check each gas appliance is working accordingly. And then you have your Dometic fridge. So to operate your fridge, you're off at the moment, you go down to the plug, which is mains electric. So should you be hooked up, you would just use mains electric on the hookup. You can turn down to battery, which is only works when the engine is running. So the idea here is to cool the fridge on either gas or electric before. So say you're lucky enough to keep the van at home, or you've got hook up at your storage yard, hook the vehicle up the day before or 2 days before you go away, put the fridge on, and then go off in your car and go shopping. Bring the shopping in, fill the fridge with your shopping, leave it overnight to cool, and then as soon as you are ready to travel, if you just put it onto the battery, the temperature of the fridge will stay the same no matter how long you travel. It won't increase, but it won't decrease. And then when you do get to site, you can either turn back to electric, or you can go down to gas, and to light your gas, this is your temperature. So you would adjust your temperature to where you want it, press your temperature in, and press your piezo igniter, and then you'll see the orange band go into green here. Once it's in the green, let go, and then that is lit on gas. Should you be having any problems lighting this on gas, or say the vehicle's been standing for any length of time, bring it through on the hob first, as this is the highest place for the gas to get to, and then all your other gas appliances should light. So to operate your water, make sure your pump's switched on, and you'll hear the pump kick in, and then we'll have that on, and you can see the steam, it's lovely and warm there, and that has got to temperature. To make your bed in the 185, if you just lift and pull the slats out, so do that on both sides, so you meet in the middle, and then what I'd do is use the backrests in the centre, but I would turn all the cushions upside down, because you don't get the bull nose and you get the flat side to sleep on. So if you push that in, push that, and then put your turn all the cushions upside down, including this one, you then have a flat space to sleep on, and you can put a fitted sheet and your duvets on, and it's far more comfortable to sleep on. So your rear travelling seats, so if you lift all your cushions off and then you lift the seat up like so, then underneath you've got two chrome catches. So if you push the board up with one hand and lift and push both catches in and push this down, you have then got your travelling seats. So to operate your travelling seats, you've got two levers. So you've got one that does the back, and then you've got one that does the front. So just do be careful, as the belt can get caught, so if you just do it very gently. So So there's the backrest of the seat, and then you'd use the bottom lever to pull the seat up. And then the bottom just clips on underneath these tabs here, like so. And then you do have Isofix, so should you be taking grandkids or children in car seats, they will fit there like so. And then hold it back down, take the base off, recline the seat so far, and then pull it back, pull the backrest and headrest down until it falls down. Also, while we're down here, your boiler drain is here. So in the winter, this yellow tap is what's called your boiler drain. So this boiler is underslung and holds 10 litres of water at any one time. In the winter, you do not want the water to freeze in here, as this will void your warranty, as it's your responsibility to winterise the vehicle correctly and in line with what we'll say. So to do so, once it's across the vehicle, it's holding water. If you turn it to the back of the vehicle, you'll hear it. It's draining. Basically, all the water will cascade underneath the chassis. So it's 10 litres of water that will drain directly onto the floor underneath. You'll come in with no power and turn this tap on so the pump doesn't kick in, and it'll drain all the way out and not try and replenish the water. And then when you do come to reuse the vehicle, so you've drained all the water off, you will shut the tap, put the hose pipe in the side of the vehicle and fill the fresh water. Come in, put the pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first. It'll cough, it'll automatically give you cold water. Then go to the hot side and it'll cough, it'll splutter. It'll make all sorts of noises, and what that's doing is it's pushing all the air out this boiler until the water is dragged from the underslung fresh water tank into the boiler. And then once one tap's primed, do your shower and do your hand basin, and then you are primed for the season. But when you do winterize the vehicle, I would advise leaving all the taps open in the middle position of the mixer tap, just to stop any air building up, and take the shower head off and allow the shower head hose to lie in the shower tray to stop any water freezing in the hose. So now at the back of the 185, these are your two single beds, which both lift up. Well, this one doesn't lift up, this one does. You've got drawers on this side, as this is where your gas locker is. So this one doesn't lift up, but you've got drawers, storage space. You've got storage underneath this bed. This is where your pump is and your space heater. Your battery box does intrude, and you obviously got your wheel arch here. You've got all your carpets here. You've got a gas tap down here, which is for isolating your boiler. So this is your the heating side of the boiler, not the water, because the water's underneath there. But you do have underneath this small flap here, you do have your trips. You've got your RCDs at the top on mains electric, your 12 volt fuses, which are all listed, so it would be a good idea to go and buy some spare normal size blade fuses from Halfords or any other car part supplier, just in case a fuse does blow. You can just replace it. And then you do have a small toggle switch here, rocker switch, which is your waste, which is your heater for your tank, so you freshen your waste, because this has been fitted with a winter pack. And you turn that on if it's going to be a frosty night, and it'll put a current through your water to stop your water from freezing. To open your lockers, so there's a small button here, so you push that catch down and lift the handle. So don't just try and lift, because that's your security lock. Push down and lift up. Now in your washroom, so to operate your toilet, press the blue button here, which will give you a flush. And then below the toilet, you've got a grey lever, so if you slide that to the right, this is your slide or your trap door, and this will deposit your waste into the cassette. But if this is open like it is now, the cassette won't come out the exterior of the vehicle, so it must be closed to get the cassette out. And then on the back here you've got a diagram of a cassette. When the wheel goes red, it indicates that it is full or 3/4 too full, and requires you to take it out, clean it out, and replenish the chemical in the cassette toilet. And then you do have your wardrobe in there, like so. It's a great place on your 185 for your wardrobe. You've got your cabinet for your toiletries in there, and your shower to this side. So like I was saying, if you just take the shower head off when winterizing, take this off and allow this hose to lie in the shower tray, it'll stop any water in the U-bend getting caught up and freezing. And then you do have your door, like so. Now inside the cab on the Signature, so the Peugeot cab, to the right of the to the driver, you've got your electric windows and your electric mirror adjustments, which you've got a joystick to turn up to the top mirror or down to the blind spot, so it does top and the blind spot. You've got your handbrake to your right, and then you have your headlight adjustment, fog lights, and then this vehicle, with it being a Euro 6D, is fitted with stop start. So as soon as you come over traffic lights, take the vehicle out of gear and release the clutch up. When in neutral, the vehicle will stop. This will only stop if there's enough charge in the battery. So say it's been standing for a while and you wonder why your stop start's not working, it'll only do it if the battery's got enough charge within it. Otherwise, the van will think that if it does it, you might not restart at the traffic lights, which means you break down, which you don't want. So to turn your stop start off, you can turn there, or if it's not off, it's on. You've got your wipers and your trip computer on here, which goes through the screen in the middle. It'll tell you your range, your miles per gallon, your travelling time, your average distance travelled, your consumption, your overall consumption, your instant consumption. Then you've got all your steering wheel control, so mute and your volume, your hands free. This will scroll through your radio channels or contacts. You've got your cruise control and your speed limiter there. Cancel reset, so say you've had to put your foot on the brake to cancel your cruise control off, you can just press reset and it will gain this, it will remember the speed you were doing before and it'll just resume to that. Lights, which are automatic, so you can just leave them on there or you can put them on. And you've got your indicators. You've got your 6-speed manual gearbox with lift the collar up into reverse, which will bring on your rear view camera. But your rear view camera also works when going forward, just like a car, as you don't have a back window on a motorhome. ASR off is just another word for traction control off. So should you want to take your traction control off as you're driving on wet grass or anything, or you're trying to come off wet grass, you can turn that off. Hazard lights, this locks your cab doors on a night. Like I was saying, you'd have to lock your Habitation door by lifting the handle up. Heated mirrors, USB for charging and 12V for charging. Your USB for streaming is down there, so should you want to plug your iPhone or iPod or memory stick into there, you can do. And then you do have all your climate control, so you've got your temperature on the outside ring, what must be on at least one or more for the aircon to work. And then you've got your distribution, so where you want the air to go, and your recirculation, so you can either recirculate the air within the vehicle or bring fresh air in. And you've got your radio, so you've got FM, DAB, so DAB or AM. So you've got 1 to 6 to save your preset radio channels. So once you've found the ones you like, you can press 1 to 6 to save them all, or you can scroll through them like so. Turn on and off, and your volume. Media would either be your USB or your phone Bluetooth. You can click phone and it'll ask you to pair with my car, and there's your pin. Just make sure it does match, and then once it does match, you will be able to pair. It'll ask you if you want to download your phone book to the van, just press yes, so then it'll come up with on the screen who's calling instead of just a number. And then above you do have this lift up clipboard, which is also a phone holder. So if you get your phone or your sat nav, put it into there like so, and then you lock it here. Like that, and then the phone's secure, and release, and then you can fold it down. You've got a glove box here and a glove box here, but this glove box is heated and cooled by the air conditioning, so should it be a nice day and you've got the aircon on, you can put chocolate bars and sweets and little bottles of water in there for the journey. And then you do have your blinds, so if you pinch them, they'll come down the cab, and then you can pinch them on here, and they will go round the windscreen like so. So the signatures are fitted with a Thatcham Category 1 auto watch alarm. So to turn the sensors off, so you lock it and it automatically arms, but say you want to leave your animal dog in here, or you want to arm it with yourselves in. To turn the sensors off, if you just press disarm twice, this will turn the ultrasonics off but still arm the outside. To operate your front hecky skylight, so you've got a winder here. If you just wind it, this will open the skylight out. But when you are travelling, make sure this is shut, because it isn't a sunroof. It is just a plastic window, so if the wind was to catch it, it would rip it off or damage it. So make sure it is shut with all the other windows. But you do have a fly screen and blackout blind for on an evening to black it out, or if you do have it open, to stop the flies. Operate your hecky roof light in the lounge. If you just push here and turn all the tabs, then you'll be able to pull the bar and push up, and you can put the bar into here and lock it in if you want a light breeze, should it be a nice summer's day. To open the one above the bedroom area, so if you just pull your weight down and slide it along, you'll open the roof light, and then you do have a blackout blind and fly screen on all roof light and windows.